It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasing good evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Reds opening up not only their three-game series, but a strong and long homestand where the Dodgers will be seeing the Reds, followed by Houston, then Detroit, and for good measure, the Angels. Tonight, Bronson Arroyo on the mound for Dusty Baker's ball club, and the Dodgers send out Hiroki Kuroda in Game 1. Then tomorrow, Johnny Cueto will go up against Clayton Kershaw, and then Wednesday afternoon, Travis Wood will be on the mound against Chad Billingsley. Where are they? Well, the Reds are 4.5 games behind Milwaukee, and the Dodgers, after a 10-game road trip that they split, remain 6.5 games back of the Giants. We'll have it all coming up for you. Pull up a chair, and we'll be back right after this.
Year at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino and receive a special birthday package. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. You must be 21 to enter the casino.
Even the sky in downtown is Dodger blue. The Dodgers back home after a 10-game road trip to begin their longest homestand of the year. 12 games against 4 teams from 2 leagues. The first of 3 against Cincinnati tonight. Here's a Hyundai key to the game. How about Matt Kemp ranking first, second, and third in all the categories that matter?
You know, the Triple Crown is so hard to do, but forget about that. How about just an MVP vote? for Matt Kemp. And it's very odd this season to me, the fact that so many of the MVP candidates so far this season all play on the same team. When you look at Fielder and Braun in Milwaukee, both of those guys having tremendous years. Votto and Bruce, who we're going to see tonight, they both may cancel themselves out. Guess what? Andre Ethier hasn't been heard from yet. You know he's going to get hot. He may give Kemp a run for his money. And guess what? Albert Pujols, what do you think? He's going to sit back and let everyone else have the fun? Starting to heat up now. He's got 14 home runs and 40 RBIs. That's a lousy year for him.
Ethier's hitting 321. Kemp is hitting 331. Kemp's got great numbers. 20 home runs on the year, 56 RBIs. And how about the road trip where he hit 472? Let's hope he picks up here where he left off on the road.
Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By 76 Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, once again, everybody. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. We're awaiting the start of Game 1 of the 3-game series with the Reds. And a reminder, in tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises $15,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Yesterday in Denver, the pitchers weren't happy about it, but there were 7 home runs hit, and we had $105,000 for prostate cancer research. And as Dusty Baker goes over his notes, we'll find out just the names on the card that's already been sent up to home plate. Drew Stubbs will lead it off in center field. Brandon Phillips at second base. Joey Votto will be at first base. Jay Bruce will be in right field hitting cleanup. Chris Heisey is in left field. Miguel Cairo at third base. Scott Rowland with a bad shoulder. Ryan Hannigan is the catcher. Paul Janisch at shortstop. And Bronson Arroyo on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, to give you an idea how things are going for Hiroki Kuroda, on the recently concluded road trip, Kuroda lost 2 games. The game scores were 2-0 and 2-1. And for Hiroki Kuroda, he is without a doubt one of the hard luck pitchers. He's getting about 2 runs per game by the Dodger offense. In his last 8 starts, going back to the end of April, they have scored a total of 12 runs in those 8 games while he's been in the game. So for Kuroda, he certainly has been starving, and the Dodgers are hoping they can do something and keep doing what they did in Denver when they piled up a lot of runs to split the 4. Now a little bit about the Cincinnati Reds in a nutshell. Number one, they are a very aggressive hitting ball club. They are just about the number 1 team in the league swinging at the first pitch. Their left-hand hitters are doing exceptionally well against left-hand pitching. They have a very good bench. They're number 1 in pinch hits, and they're number 1s in pinch hit RBIs. And they have the highest. They're number 1 to score a runner from third base with less than 2 out. So it's a pretty good ball club. 4.5 games back in Milwaukee. They are 1 game above 500, and Drew Stubbs will start it off. Stubbs hitting .266, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Kuroda deals, and the pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. Drew Stubbs was born in Texarkana, Texas, and moved to Atlanta, Texas. The 1-0 pitch on the way is grounded foul off to the left out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Atlanta, Texas. Have you ever heard of that? Well, if not, it's about 32 miles south of Texarkana, Texas, and you might not have heard of that. They do say that when you come to that little city of about 6,000, there's a big sign that says Gateway to the Piney Woods. An offensive threat at any time. He had Gold Gloves in 2007, 2008, and Brandon Phillips, as he checks in right now, a very aggressive hitter as well. So Brandon hitting .285, 5 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Remember, he got into some trouble going up against the St. Louis Cardinals, and the first pitch is low, ball 1. He had been quoted as saying before a big series how he hates the Cardinals. And then he went up to the plate to hit. Yadier Molina was standing there, and he tapped Molina on the shin guards, and Molina didn't like it at all. The 1-0 pitch, Brandon fouls it away. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. For Brandon, who is an even 695-pounder, originally drafted by the Montreal Expos, but made it to the big leagues with the Cleveland Indians, and he's been with the Reds nonstop since 2006. So Phillips waiting at the plate. He and Jamie Carroll are right up there, talking about middle infielders. Jamie Carroll has 73 hits, and Brandon Phillips has 72. Phillips waiting, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Brandon swing, fouls it away. 1-2 the count. Brandon has a pretty good eye for the strike zone. He is rarely called out on strikes, but he does ground into a lot of double plays. He's grounded into 11. But he also makes productive outs to help his team, moving runners along, etc. And he's second in the league, picking up a runner from third with less than 2 out. He takes a pitch way off the plate, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hiroki Kuroda with a record of 5-7, 0-1 against the Reds, lost a heartbreaker, 3-1 lifetime, but he comes into this game having lost 4 in a row. Hiroki ready in his 2-2 pitch to Phillips, and that's high, ball 3. Another thing about Kuroda, in a little more than 24 innings against the Reds, he has struck out 18. So Hiroki goes 3-2 to Phillips. Kuroda rocks back, turns, ready, and here he comes. and it swung on and promptly flared over second base into center field for a base hit. Aaron Miles tried to catch up to it but couldn't do it. So Brandon Phillips, a one-out single in the first inning, and now the big boys come up, Joey Votto and then Jay Bruce. So Joey Votto, couple of numbers, 335 average, 8 home runs, 39 runs batted in. He is a very patient hitter. He gets a lot of 3-0 counts, a lot of 2-0 counts, and a lot of 3-1 counts. So let's see what happens this time. Phillips draws a throw, gets back to the bag. That's another thing, a bad thing about the Reds. They've had more runners picked off base than any other team in the National League. So Phillips inching off the bag over there. Kuroda set, takes a look over his shoulder at him. Phillips has stolen 4 out of 6, and Joey Votto fouls it away. Drew Stubbs, who was retired on the ground ball, he's the big man in stolen bases. He has stolen 18 out of 21. So Stubbs sits back thinking about the ground ball. Meanwhile, Phillips stands at first, and here's Joey Votto. Votto had laser eye surgery a couple of years ago, and it's really improved the way he plays the game. A throw to first, Phillips back. Last year, Votto hit .324 with 37 home runs and 113 runs batted in. And everyone who knows him, the last year's MVP, talk about how modest and soft-spoken he is. He's from Canada, from Toronto, and he swings and doesn't get a splitter, and the count 0-2. He still lives in Canada, in Ontario, and he went to Richview Collegiate Institute. Interesting, too, in growing up in hockey-loving Canada, he never wanted to play hockey. All he wanted to do was play baseball. He even tells a story about when he was a teenager, his date with a really pretty girl was at an ice skating rink, and he looked so awful she wouldn't have anything to do with him. Joey pulls one foul up along first, down to Billy Hatcher, and a 0-2 count to Joey Votto. Votto is well put together. He's a solid 6'3", checks in at about 220. Joey heaves a sigh, now gets back in. A couple of years ago, he had to be the most consistent hitter anytime, anywhere. Without getting into the pitch's way, we'll try and tell you why. That was in 2009. 1 out, first inning, we're just starting. Phillips at first. Brandon's going. Votto fouls it away. 2 years ago, listen to this. Joey Votto's overall batting average was .347. With runners in scoring position, he hit .344. At home, he hit .351. On the road, he hit .345. Against right-hand pitching, he hit .341. Against left-hand pitching, he hit .358. I mean, just how consistent can you possibly be? So Joey, left-hand hitter, waiting at the plate, 0-2. Now Kuroda is ready. Hiroki looks over his left shoulder, comes back to Votto in the dirt, and now down to second base easily goes Phillips. And we'll check and see. Wild pitch or pass ball, and it'll be a wild pitch. So Phillips winds up at second base anyway on the wild pitch, and Votto trying to pick him up with Jay Bruce on deck. The Reds, maybe it's playing in Great American Ballpark, but they hit a lot of balls in the air. Kuroda, of course, likes to use that splitter to get the ball on the ground. The 1-2 pitch to Joey Votto. Hiroki delivers, and it's in the dirt, blocked by Diana Navarro, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Among other things, the Reds hit more pop flies to the infield than any other team in the National League. Infield back, Phillips at second, 1 out, first inning, no score. Dodgers won 2 out of 3 when they were at the Great American Ballpark at the start of this most recent road trip. 2-2 the count to Joey Votto. Here comes Kuroda, high set at the collarbone. Looks back at second twice, comes to Votto, and it is swung on and missed. Splitter got him, and down he goes. So Votto strikes out, leaving Phillips at second base. And now the batter will be Brandon Phillips. So Phillips taking his turn, and Jay Bruce checks in. That's a dazzling pitch, just as long as it can be dug out by the catcher. So Votto strikes out, and now Jay Bruce. Bruce is a power hitter. He has 17 home runs, 48 runs batted in. However, he has not hit a home run since the 1st of June. So Jay waiting at the plate, and the left-hand hitter takes the strike, and the count 0-1. He has a very high percentage as far as home runs and plate appearances. He has that solid .290 batting average, 48 runs batted in. Jay is from Beaumont, Texas, first-round pick by the Reds 6 years ago. The strike one pitch is instead a bluff and a look back at second base. The sad thing for Jay Bruce anyway, and the Reds, with his 17 home runs, 11 of the 17 have been hit in games where the Reds lost. 0-1 the count. Kuroda, a look back at Brandon Phillips, double checks him, comes back to the hitter. Jay swings and doesn't get it, and the count 0-2. Phillips taking a cautious lead at second. Bruce, meanwhile, is not a ground ball hitter like most of the Reds. He usually hits the ball in the air. Strike two pitch on the way. Kuroda double checking, comes back, and the pitch very high. Just kind of a showcase pitch to let him think about it, but he struck out Votto on splitters. Jay Bruce joined Elite Company last September. He had a game-winning home run to clinch a postseason berth. Only 5 players in Major League history have had a walk-off home run that clinched a postseason berth. The 1-2 pitch, and he takes off the plate. The others, well, the famous Bobby Thompson's home run for the Giants against the Dodgers. Hank Aaron's 11th inning home run for the 1957 Milwaukee Braves. Alfonso Soriano's first major league hit for the Yankees in 1999. And for good measure, remember Steve Finley's grand slam here 2004 with the Dodgers. 2-2 pitch is fouled away. Though Bruce is still there, if nothing else, making Hiroki Kuroda work. Last year, Bruce caught fire after the All-Star break. He hit .306, and he had 15 home runs after the break. So Jay at 6-2, 2:15 waiting. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Phillips at second base in the first inning. Kuroda delivers and gets it just inside. Fastball. So after working on Votto, throwing splitters in the dirt, Kuroda figures, well, he might be looking down, and I'll come in, and he just missed. 3-2 the count to Jay Bruce. Kuroda out of his stretch. Right-hander ready, and the 3-2 pitch swung on, a high fly ball into left center, but playable. Matt Kemp is there, and just like the book says, Bruce hits a fly ball. No runs, a hit, a man left at second, and at the end of half an inning, Reds nothing, Dodgers coming up. Brandon Phillips got out of the inning, made 23 pitches, and now the Dodgers trying to get him some runs. It'll be D. Gordon at short leading off, followed by Aaron Miles at second. Then you have Ethier, Kemp, and Loney, the trio, followed by Juan Uribe, Diana Navarro, Tony Gwynn Jr., and Hiroki Kuroda. On the mound, Bronson Arroyo. Big fella at 6'5", 190, born in Key West, Florida, lives in Brooksville, Florida. Picked up his first Gold Glove last year. Bronson, high kicker, comes to the plate with a slow freight pitch for a strike, and the count 0-1. Most pitchers today have given up the windup. They just turn on the rubber and pitch. But he hasn't given up the leg kick. I mean, his kick is high. The pitch, Gordon bunts. Arroyo, former infielder, throws him out. And just like that, one away. So Gordon rounds out with the bunt. Here's the way the Reds stack up. Heisey, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield. Cairo, Yanish, Phillips, and Votto on the infield. And Ryan Hannigan, who always catches Bronson Arroyo. So one away. And Aaron Miles checking in, hitting .301 with 17 runs batted in. Arroyo ready and delivers, and that's lifted to the air, going back to get it, still going back is Stubbs, and makes the catch just a foot shy of the track. So 2 out in the first inning. That fly ball reminds us to tell you, among other things, Bronson Arroyo was #1 in the National League in home runs allowed. Bronson, who pitches in Great American Ballpark, and that's certainly one of the big reasons. Arroyo has given up 16 home runs, 9 of them to left-hand batters, and he will face Andre Ethier right now. But you know, when you're talking about home runs allowed, and the pitcher is pitching at Great American Ballpark, it's one of those hold on to your hats ballpark, even more so than Coors Field in Denver. Ethier takes outside, ball 1. Case in point, since 2003 through last year, the #1 home run ballpark is U.S. Cellular, the home of the Chicago White Sox. There's a line drive to center, and it's going to land for a base hit as Stubbs gets it back in. So a 2-out single by Ethier will bring up Matt Kemp. But over those years, 03 through 10, 1,763 home runs were hit at Cellular Field. At Great American Ballpark, 1,738. And so far this year, there have been 86 home runs hit at Great American Ballpark. I mean, the ball just flies out of there. And talking about balls flying out, here's Matt Kemp hitting .331, 20 home runs, 56 runs batted in. The Matt at the plate, Arroyo into his stretch and promptly hits him. The Bronson Arroyo trying to drive Kemp off the plate, comes up and in and hits him, and so Matt goes to first base. For Matt Kemp, in looking at his numbers, he had only been hit twice. And with the kind of a month that he's had, he's pretty fortunate that he's only been nailed twice. So Kemp is at first, Ethier is at second, 2 out, no score, first inning. And the batter is James Loney, he of Grand Slam home run in Denver. So Arroyo, who loves to play the guitar, just hit a sour note as far as Matt Kemp is concerned. Here's Loney hitting .253, 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Arroyo and Loney. Loney is hitting .333 against him, and the pitch in for a strike. Loney has 1 home run against him. Matt Kemp was hitting .400 against him with 2 home runs. So 2 on, 2 out, first inning, no score. Arroyo, a long look in to get a sign. Now the right-hander is ready. And the strike 1 pitch on the way is a hopper up the middle into center field. Base hit. Here comes Ethier to score. Kemp going to third, and he's in there. And Cairo will argue with third base umpire Greg Gibson. Cairo thought they had him, and he wants to chew on the umpire. And here comes Dusty Baker out to join in the argument. So Matt Kemp just does beat the throw, and a strong throw it was from Drew Stubbs, and the Dodgers were on the board leading 1-0. Stubbs made a one-hopper right there at the bag. Cairo thought surely he had gotten him. The tag was on the knee, part of the leg was on the bag. Tough call, and Greg Gibson, the third base umpire, made it, and that's that. So Ethier scores, Kemp goes to third, Dodgers lead 1-0, and the batter will be Juan Uribe. So Baker has had his argument, and that'll do it. Dodgers at first and third, leading 1-0. A veteran third baseman, Miguel Cairo, waiting for Dusty Baker to get back into the dugout. And the batter will be Juan Uribe. Uribe, 2 for 7 in the past against Bronson Arroyo. Dodgers lead 1-0. They have runners at first and third, 2 out. And the pitch to Uribe is taken for a strike inside corner, 0-1. After Gordon was thrown out trying to bunt, and after Miles flied to center, Ethier singled to center. Kemp hit by a pitch. Loney single drove him in. 0-1 the count. Uribe backs off on a pitch way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bronson Arroyo, a long time ago, had the reputation of being a pitcher who had hit a lot of batters, but he has pretty much overwhelmed and overcome that. Bronson here down around his shoulders at 6'5", ready, comes over the top, and the pitch on a check swing will be a strike, and they count 1-2. There's an article in the new issue of, I guess it was Sports Illustrated, all about the great new pitch called the cutter. And when you talk about Bronson Arroyo, he's been throwing a cutter, and that's been a money ball for him. 1-2 fastball, foul back, and they count 1-2. You figure if you are going to get cutters, you'd be a left-handed batter. So Bronson Arroyo, a good fielder, by the way. Last year, right-hand batters hit only 185 against him. Left-handers beat him around. They hit 298. 1-2 the count. Arroyo ready, comes back. Uribe swings, tries to lift a pitch and fouls it away. So he's still up there 1-2. Uribe batting .224, 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Bronson Arroyo originally signed by the Pirates back in 1995. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's whacked down the left field line, but going foul into the seats, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Arroyo first came up to the big leagues in 2000 with Pittsburgh. His biggest year as far as victories last year when he won 17. He's had 15 a couple of times, 14 a couple of times. So the 17 last year, he was dynamite. The 1-2 pitch is swung on, lifted back to third, down the line. A trio of Reds coming over, and no play. Again, back into the stand. Talking about his victories, Arroyo is one of only 5 major league pitchers with at least 15 wins in each of the last 3 years. Distinguished company, that is C.C. Sabathia, Roy Halladay, Tim Lincecum, John Lester, and Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo trying to get out of the first inning, down 1-0. And the 1-2 pitch to Uribe is popped in the air, all foul. Votto was there to make the catch, and that'll do it. So the Dodgers got a clutch single by Loney to drive in Ethier, and at the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Reds 0. James Loney gets a 2-out single to center, and the Dodgers lead the Reds and Bronson Arroyo 1-0. For Arroyo, he made 16 pitches in the first inning, 8 of them to Juan Uribe. The other 8 went to 5 hitters. Chris Heisey now will start it off, then Miguel Cairo and Ryan Hannigan. Heisey, right-hand batter, hits a bullet into left center for a base hit. Over to make a sliding pickup is Tony Gwynn to hold that to a long single. Oh, a great play. The crowd applauding as Gwynn over to cut it off. Otherwise, that's to the wall for sure. So a line drive base hit. Tony Gwynn making a superb play to keep it to a single. That is hit number 2 off Kuroda. And the batter will be Miguel Cairo. Cairo, a little bit involved in the argument with the third base umpire, but as a veteran, he kept his head. Cairo hitting .278, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in, originally signed by the Dodgers in 1991. He's 37 years old, right-hand batter. Kuroda comes to him, and Cairo takes low, ball 1. As far as Kuroda is concerned, in his previous work, Miguel Cairo is 0 for 4. Cairo is from Venezuela, but he lives in Safety Harbor, Florida. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Throw to first, not in time. Despite the fact he was in the Dodger organization, Cairo finally came up to Toronto, then went with the Cubs and the Devil Rays, then from the Cubs to the Cardinals, eventually the Yankees and the Mets, all the way back to the Cardinals and the Mariners, then the Phillies, and the last 2 years with the Reds. The pitch is inside, ball 2, 2-0. Cairo was playing because the regular third baseman Scott Rowland is unable to play, and they really miss him. Rowland, a steadying influence, hard hitter, has a bad shoulder. It happened here at Dodger Stadium several years ago when he went into a collision at first base with Hee-Sop Choi. Remember him? And Rowland has not been the same ever since. 2 balls and no strikes to Miguel Cairo. Runner going, hard ground ball to the glove side for Miles. He feeds Gordon, and the throw to first in time. However, Gordon, in racing to second base, was already past the bag when he got Miles' throw. So it is the 4-6-3 out with Heisey safely aboard at second. Gordon was flying but never touched the bag, and he was just in a hurry to make the play. Also at the same time trying to avoid Heisey. It was a very nice play by Aaron Miles. It was hit and run, and the ball was hit behind Miles but on his gloved side. So Gordon gliding over the bag, but he missed it. And now with that break, we'll see what Ryan Hannigan can do, right-hand hitting catcher. Kuroda's first pitch, fastball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Ryan Hannigan. Ryan hitting .266. He has 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. He's from Washington, D.C. and lives in Andover, Massachusetts. 1-0 pitch, and Ryan takes a strike, and the count 1-1. For Hannigan, he's 31 years old. He's been a catcher since Little League. He went undrafted at a high school, played third base and left field for Rollins College in Orlando, Florida. They had a veteran catcher who would not be moved. The 1-1 pitch, little flare, caught in foul ground by Loney, and with the ball hit over there, no place for Heisey to go. So 2 out, and Paul Janisch coming up. So the tying run at second base, 2 out. Janisch trying to pick it up. Paul spells that name Janish, and the J is not produced or pronounced. Janisch. right-hand hitting catcher. He had Tommy John surgery a few years ago. The pitch by Kuroda, down and away, ball one. In fact, we were just talking about Scott Rowland in a collision with Hee-Sop Choi here at first base. Janisch had a collision at first base that resulted in surgery. He went to school at Rice University. Kuroda takes a little break. The Janisch is a Czechoslovakian name, but Paul says he has no idea why the J is pronounced like a Y. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Janisch hits a one-hopper into center. Here comes Heisey. The throw by Kemp is not in time, and we have a 1-1 tie, all because young D. Gordon missed second base. So Gordon learning as he goes, and he's going to make a mistake here and a mistake there. In such a hurry to get the double play that he cost the force, and for Janisch's credit, a base hit to cash in the break. And we have a 1-1 tie. And with two out, Bronson Arroyo, who is a pretty good hitting pitcher, coming up to the plate. Arroyo waiting, Kuroda out of his stretch. The first pitch is a little high, and it is high when you're high to a fella 6'5". One of the things about Paul Janisch, as he picked up that classic run, taking a short lead at first, Kuroda looks over, now comes to the plate, and that's fouled away off to the right. Bronson Arroyo is involved in, well, something you don't really hear much about. He pitched a perfect game in the International League, and then with the bat, he has had himself a good time. Arroyo at 6'5", waiting. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Arroyo takes down and away, ball 2, 2-1. For Bronson Arroyo, he's also the first pitcher in the modern era to hit home runs in his first 2 official at-bats at the start of the season. 2-1 the count. Arroyo swings, beats it foul, and the count 2-2. What he did, he hit home runs against Glendon Rush twice. Eric Shaw did that way back against Joe Price 25 years ago. So Arroyo can be a threat. 2-2 the count. 1-1 tie, top of the second. Out of his stretch goes Kuroda, and the 2-2 pitch to Bronson Arroyo, swung on a hopper off the glove of D. Gordon and on out into left field. So Arroyo gets a base hit, and now Drew Stubbs will be coming up. So for Gordon, put through the grinder here. 3 hits, not to mention what it's doing to the constitution of Hiroki Kuroda. Gordon might have felt he could make the play, but it would have been a dandy. So 2 on, 2 out, 1-1 tie, and here's Drew Stubbs, who grounded to short in the first inning. Stubbs from Atlanta, Texas. Here comes Kuroda with the first pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. The salutatorian of his class when he graduated high school. He was also the top English, math, and Spanish student in the school. The strike 1 pitch, swung on and missed, 0-2. Drew's father went to Louisiana Tech and ran track, and Stubbs runs very, very well. He committed to the University of Texas. The Astros offered him a bunch of money, but he turned it down, and then eventually became the first-round pick of the Reds. 0-2 the count to Drew Stubbs. Strike 2 pitch from Hiroki Kuroda in the dirt, rolls behind Navarro, but the runners hold, and the count 1-2. Stubbs runs very, very well, and speed has helped him. He's hitting .265, and then you realize that 15 of his hits are infield hits. 15 of 73. 1-2 to Drew Stubbs, right-hand batter. Kuroda trying to get out of the jam, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Hiroki a high set and delivers, and fools him low, and down goes Stubbs. However, the fact that Drew Gordon, in his haste to turn the double play, missed second base, the Reds cash it in by Giannis, and we have a 1-1 tie. By Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grill Sandwich at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. We're going to the bottom of the second, a 1-1 tie. Drew Stubbs out there in lonely center field because as an outfielder you have an awful lot of time to think. When he struck out in the second inning, it was the 90th strikeout for him already. And we're still early in June. Of course, you look it up and you find out last year the young center fielder struck out 165 times. Arroyo ready, and the strike one pitch swung on, sprayed foul into the stands behind the Dodger dugout, and the count 0-2 to Diana Navarro. Navarro hitting 176, had a rough road trip. He hit 095 on the trip. No balls, 2 strikes. Arroyo ready over the top, keeps it a little high, ball 1. Navarro is a switch hitter from Venezuela, originally signed by the Yankees, came up briefly in 04, came over for the Dodgers a couple of years, then went to the Devil Rays, and now he's back. The 1-2 pitch, and Navarro pulls away. It's at the knees, 2-2. So the Dodgers 1 run, 2 hits. The Reds 1 run, 4 hits. Dodgers have scored a lot of runs against the Reds starting back in 2009. They're averaging almost 7 runs a game against Cincinnati. Navarro line drive, a diving catch and grab by Giannis to take a hit away from Navarro. Wonderful play. So Paul Giannis not only knocked in the tying run, he now takes what looked like a sure base hit away from Diana Navarro. So 1 away, and the batter will be Tony Gwynn, who made that fine play on the ball hit by Heisey. So one way or another, Heisey was going to score. Gwynn took the double away from him, but then D. Gordon missed second base trying to turn the double play, and Giannis single tied up the game. So here's Gwynn hitting 225. Twice has saved the Dodgers bacon, once in San Diego or against San Diego, and then just the other day in Denver, he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. 1-1 tie, second inning. Tony Gwynn waiting at the plate. Takes in for a strike. 0-2 the count. Tony in and out of the box. Waiting on deck, hitting back of him, Hiroki Kuroda. Now Gwynn is ready. And Arroyo strike 2 pitch over the top, and it's fouled away off to the left. Fastball up and in at 90. For Bronson Arroyo, things have changed. His history, he used to be very much of a pitcher getting a lot of ground balls, but that's down by about 12 to 15%. Strike 2 pitch on the way, and Gwynn takes that high and inside. Ball 1. There was only 1 ground ball after 7 batters against Arroyo. The bunt by Gordon, and then the foul ball by Uribe, and the line drive by Navarro. Arroyo ready in the 1-2 pitch, and that's taken low. 2-2 the count. Bronson Arroyo has, I guess big league scouts would say, an average fastball, a very good curveball, a slider, that great cutter we talked about, and a straight change. 2-2 pitch, fastball pulled back at first. What a stop by Votto, who feeds his pitcher coming over. So Bronson Arroyo has a couple of gloves behind him. First of all, Paul Giannis makes a diving catch of the line drive by Navarro, and now Gwynn hits what would be at least a double with his speed, and Votto, sitting down on the ground, is able to get the ball accurately over to his pitcher, and we have 2 out on 2 great plays. Wow, big leagues indeed. So Joey Votto makes a inning-saving play, and here's Kuroda, who backs off and takes ball 1, 1-0. By the way, if you're thinking about the Giants, they're off tonight. They'll start a series tomorrow night in Arizona. Matt Cain will go against Josh Colmenter. Colmenter, by the way, has an earned run average of 1.1, but that's tomorrow night. 2 out, second inning, 1-1 tie. Arroyo back and gets it in there. 2-1 to Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda was something like 0 for 26, but he now has 2 hits. Backs off, holding up on his swing. No swing, says Todd Tishner. And a 3-1 count to Hiroki Kuroda, who, by the way, certainly no threat, and yet he has walked 3 times. Here comes the pitch, and that's in there. 3-2. The latest score we have on the Diamondbacks, they're leading Florida 12-7. Last we heard it was the 7th inning. We'll check. 3-2 is swung on and missed. Down goes Kuroda. But it's the gloves of Paul Giannis and the glove of Joey Votto that makes it a 1-2-3 inning in a 1-1 tie. New Rapid Reward. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. 1-1 tie as we go to the third inning. It'll be Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto, and then Jay Bruce. A couple of youngsters flanking Dad, taking in the ball game. Hope you make your plans to be with us. A lot of baseball at Dodger Stadium coming up, starting with Cincinnati, then Houston, then Detroit and the Angels. By the way, we were giving you a Diamondback score at the end of 7. They're trying to hold on to a 12-3 lead. That was the score for Arizona in the 4th inning. Now it's 12-9 in the 9th inning. And a one-hopper diving stop by D. Gordon, who throws him out. The Brandon Phillips losing a base hit on a nice play by D. Gordon. And we have one away. So we've had 3 wonderful plays back to back. We had Navarro line out on a diving catch by Giannis. We had Gwynn robbed on a great play by Joey Votto to take a double away from him. And now Brandon Phillips is robbed by young D. Gordon. And the batter will be Joey Votto. Votto, the left-hand hitter with 8 home runs, batting .333, and has a look at ball 1. Joey is getting close to a milestone. He has 98 home runs. But there are a couple of Reds who've been around a while looking at milestones. The 1-0 pitch is a strike. Votto with 98 home runs. Francisco Cordero, 303 saves. And Edgar Renteria, the veteran shortstop, has 898 RBIs. Votto takes another strike. And a 1-2 count. Being a left-hand hitter, and most of them like the ball down, Kuroda has gotten high strikes. 1-2. Hiroki with that splitter among other things, and it's fouled away. Still 1-2. He struck Votto out in the first inning. 1 run, 4 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Votto has always been intrigued by the legend and lore of Ted Williams. He says he's read just about every single book ever written about Williams. The 1-2 pitch is inside, ball 2. Votto has always been considered pretty much of a coach's dream. He has a tremendous desire to play. One of the first guys in the ballpark and the last guy to leave. He promptly hits one off the body, deflected over to Gordon, who throws him out. Hiroki Kuroda takes one off the body, and D. Gordon throws out Votto. We have had 4 wonderful defensive plays. Looked like a sure base hit because Gordon had gone to his left, had to come back to his right and make the play. So the inning belongs to D. Gordon after he had missed second base in his haste to get a double play, and that eventually cost a run. Well, he's just come back with 2 dandies. And now here's Jay Bruce. Left-hand hitter, swings, little ground ball wide of first. Loney backhands it to Kuroda, and that's that. So the inning belonged to young Gordon. A 1-2-3 inning. We've had splendid plays, and at the end of 2.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. tie. We've had wonderful defensive plays by Giannis and Votto against the Dodgers, and a couple by D. Gordon against the Reds. But no surprise, really, because the Reds and Dodgers rank second and third defensively in the major leagues, trailing only the Philadelphia Phillies by a couple of percentage points. Dodgers' 31 errors are also tied with old Boston, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay for the fewest in major leagues. So they've got the numbers to back it up, and we have seen the plays. Gordon a full swing and a miss after trying to bunt his way aboard, opening up the bottom of the first inning. D hitting .292. First game at Dodger Stadium, and the 7th game in his flowering major league career. He takes inside on a check swing. Greg Gibson says no swing. So 1-1 the count to D. Gordon, who weighs about 150 pounds, not much more than that. 1-1 pitch. D beats that foul behind the plate. 1-2. He might be 150. He's 5'11", and you figure he's 23. He ought to fill out a little bit more, maybe. Went to Seminole Community College, Windermere, Florida. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Arroyo delivers, and it's lifted to left center. Outfield is converging. Drew Stubbs, the center fielder, makes the catch. So Gordon hitting a fly ball, and of course, for D. Gordon to hit a ball in the air is not what he wants to do. A reminder, Tuesday, June 21st, Dodgers and Tigers at 7:10. You'll receive your very own Dodger beach towel presented by Time Warner Cable. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. One away, here's Aaron Miles. Arroyo ready, comes with a first pitch strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. Miles hitting .299. So he and Jamie Carroll have really helped the Dodgers. Miles with a little 7-game hitting streak, and the strike one fastball that's on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. Tomorrow night on KCAL 9, Johnny Cueto and Clayton Kershaw. The concluding game Wednesday afternoon right back here in Prime Ticket. Travis Wood and Chad Billingsley. 0-2 the count to Miles. Arroyo works a fastball away, ball 1. One long ago, Aaron Miles was in spring training with the Reds, but they cut him, and he has just bounced back nicely with the Dodgers. 1-2 to Aaron Miles. The second baseman punches it on the ground to third. Cairo stumbled but got up to throw him out. So we have 2 down here in the third, and Andre Ethier coming up.
For the Dodgers, right fielder number 16, Andre Ethier.
Red starting pitchers have struggled coming into this game. Collectively, their starters have an earned run average of almost 5. The bullpen has struggled. The relievers have lost 13 games for Cincinnati. The Reds are 5 games above 500 at home, 4 games under on the road. Andre Ethier takes outside, ball 1. He had a 2-out single to center and scored on a single by Loney. 1-0 the count. James and Arroyo delivers a fly ball. Andre Ethier is going to go out on the fly ball to Stubbs. We were just going to say the Dodger offense has increased by a good 2 runs in June as opposed to May, and we're 1-1. Pollo Loco. Now for only $5, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Time Warner Cable. 4th inning in a 1-1 tie. Sunset time in Los Angeles. Beautiful evening. 67 degrees at the start of the game. No breeze, so very comfortable. And Chris Heisey starting it off. He'll take ball 1. For Heisey, it was a battle to finally connect in the big leagues. He went to 6 or 7 tryout camps, hoping to impress. But it was pretty smart of him. He went to Messiah College, small college in Pennsylvania. No one knew he was playing there, so he figured I'd get my degree and become an elementary school teacher and go about my life. Basketball was his favorite sport. Chris is an even 6, 200-pounder. 26 years old. He'll be 27 middle of December. 2-1 the count. 2-2. So since scouts were not going to Messiah College, that's when Chris decided, well, I'll go to them, and he went to all those tryout camps. And the last camp he stopped in was with the Reds. One of the scouts had seen him play for his college team as a fill-in shortstop. 2-2. And he lifts a fly ball, very playable. Kemp and Gwynn, it'll be Gwynn. 1 away in the 4th inning in a 1-1 tie. You know, the 16 greatest moments in Major League Baseball All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments. Vote for your favorite midsummer classics. Tune in to the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday, July 12th at 5 p.m. on Fox. Find out who won. There were so many great moments. Out of the 16. For me, and I wasn't around to see it, but just in reading the history of the All-Star Game, the most outstanding moment was a series of moments. You know, not one moment like Pete Rose crashing into Ray Fosse or somebody swinging the bat and hitting a home run. I mean, they were wonderful moments. Fouled away, 1-1. I'm talking about a series of moments, and you have to go back into the 30s. Carl Hubble, the left-hander, that made the screwball famous long before there was a Fernando Valenzuela. And in the All-Star Game, he struck out in a row a whole bunch of Hall of Famers to beat. First, he started out by striking out Babe Ruth. I mean, that's a pretty good opening act. Then he struck out the great Lou Gehrig. Then he got Double X, as they called him, Jimmy Fox. And if that wasn't enough, he then got Al Simmons and finally Joe Cronin. 5 strikeouts against the best hitters you could find. That was a series of moments for sure. Anyway, have some fun. You can look it up. They'll give you the 16 moments, and you pick the one you feel is the greatest. Tell you what, if they top those 5 strikeouts, I will be amazed. Miguel Cairo. He hit the ground ball, looked like hit and run. Aaron Miles was able, since the ball was hit to his glove side, to reach and get it. Threw it to D. Gordon, and in his haste to get the force, Gordon went flying over the bag, avoiding Heisey, and never touched the bag. He did get Cairo, but Heisey was safe at second, and with 2 out, Paul Janisch got a base hit to drive it in and tie up the game. So we're 1-1, 4th inning. Miguel hitting .276, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. 2-2. Down he goes. I was thinking, watching Cairo sweating and mopping before swinging and striking out, when the Dodgers were in Cincinnati, the temperature was over 100. And here he is tonight, perspiring, and when the game started, it was 67. I was told that in Milwaukee, they had one day that was 100, so hot during their heat wave that some of the streets were buckling, and the next day it was 50. Whoa. And here's Ryan Hannigan. And ball one. Hannigan always catches Bronson Arroyo. Kind of the modern day Tim McCarver, who always caught a couple of pitches. Fouled away. One of them certainly Steve Carlton. Hannigan was signed by the Reds as a free agent. Fouled away upstairs. Last year, Hannigan hit .291 against left-handers and .304 against right-handers. So he wound up hitting .300. Reds were so impressed with him that March 13th this year, they signed into a 3-year deal. One and two. Fouled away again. Hannigan, who was undrafted, facing Hiroki Kuroda. There was an older fella in college who forced him to play out of position, and it wasn't until he started to catch regularly in the Cape Cod League when he caught the attention of scouts. Chasing a splitter, I believe, and down he goes. So Kuroda strikes out 2 of the 3. He has 3 strikeouts, and we're locked in. Reds 1, Dodgers 1. Smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And by your local Mazda dealer. Bottom of the 4th inning in a 1-1 tie, a postcard shot as we look at Bronson Arroyo. Final score, Diamondbacks 12, Marlins 9. J.J. Putz came in to restore order, picked up his 18th save. Miguel Montero had 4 RBIs, and now Arizona trailing by a half a game will dig in to face Matt Cain and the Giants starting tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Hiroki Kuroda has made 40 some odd pitches, and now he's at 66. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Here's Matt Kemp. 0-1. Matt Kemp in the month of June is hitting .425. He's had 7 home runs and 16 RBIs in only 11 games. 0-1. One and one. The home run he hit in Denver, one of them. One went to right center, almost dead center, but the other one cleared the 23 rows in left field. Just missed. And although we'll never know, the ball was hit so high and went so far, it stood a very good chance of going out at Dodger Stadium. 2-1. 2-2. Bronson Arroyo, big drink of water at 6'5" and 190. Pretty good all-around athlete. He played football and basketball. Of course, he played baseball all year, and he was pretty much of a workout man and still is. Fastball. That's that old line about trying to throw a lamb chop by a wolf. So to throw a fastball by Matt Kemp, not going to happen very often. Line drive single to left.
Number 7, James.
There it comes, and there it goes. However, he kept it in the ballpark, and the batter now will be James Loney. Bronson Arroyo doesn't look it, but he worked out a lot. I mean, by working out, doing bench and squats, deadlifts, leg presses, leg curls, overhead press. He lifted a lot of weights. In fact, he said a lot heavier weight than any average kid. He was more serious than a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old, and he was only 5. It was his father's doing. There's a ground ball base hit into right field, and Loney's not about to stop. He'll hold it first. Kemp to third, head first, and he's in there. So a single to left, a single to right. The Dodgers in business. A couple of fastballs. And Arroyo in trouble now. Uribe, Navarro, and Gwynn coming up. So James 2 for 2. Single to center to drive in a run, and single to right. Loney's last at bat yesterday was a double to right. He had 3 hits yesterday, single, grand slam, home run, and a double as he visits with Joey Votto. And here's Uribe. Arroyo trying to get a ball on the ground. And ball 1. We mentioned that was one of his big changes. He hasn't been getting the ground ball, and therefore the double play to get him out of an inning. What used to be ground balls so far this year have been a lot of fly balls and line drive. Big chopper to third. They're going to go for 2, and they will get him. And scoring is Kemp. That's the 7th double play that Uribe has grounded into. So it puts the blocks to the inning, but it does get a run, and the Dodgers lead 2-1.
Catcher number 30, Leonard Navarro.
So Arroyo, when he needed it, got the big play. Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. Reds 1 run, 4 hits. And Leonard Navarro robbed of a hit on a diving catch of a line drive caught by Paul Janisch. Navarro, a workhorse for 3 years, but certainly not being overworked with the Dodgers, not with Rod Barajas. Barajas has he's appeared in 52 games. Navarro only 24 going into tonight. And Barajas taken in the action. 2-0 the count. Dodgers lead the Reds 2-1. And that's pop foul, out of play. Bronson Arroyo certainly pitches out of a stretch a lot for the simple reason in his 9-inning games he's averaging 11 hits allowed. Two and one to count. Pulled and plugged in by Brandon Phillips, and that'll be that. However, 2 base hits and a double play. Matt Kemp scores the run, and at the end of 4, 2-1 Dodgers. At 4 brilliant defense. And again, the key, whenever you have pitchers throwing strikes, the hitters are always faced with a very, very alert defense, and it's been paying off. 2-1 Dodgers, 5th inning. Hiroki Kuroda working to Giannis, then Arroyo and Stubbs. Ball 1. Giannis singled up the middle to score Heisey back in the 2nd inning. And a strike. 1-1. Giannis 6'2", 190. He'll be 29. Went to Rice University in Houston. Another pretty good catcher who's out now with a bad back. Chris Snyder with Pittsburgh. I think he went to Rice. 1-2 the count. In the dirt. By the way, in talking about Snyder having back troubles, we certainly want to send along our best wishes for a speedy recovery to a great pal and a wonderful electrician here at Dodger Stadium, Mike Jones. He's at Presbyterian Hospital in Whittier. And God be with you tomorrow, Mike, and hope we'll see you back here soon. Still 2-2 the count to Paul Giannis. When Giannis played shortstop at Rice, he had a great arm. That seems to happen to a lot of the young players. and they see that great arm and they either make them a pitcher or, in his instance, a catcher. 2-2. Paul, growing up in Texas, Cypress, Texas, so his childhood hero was Nolan Ryan. Two balls and two strikes. And a little flare. Miles can't get it, and it'll drop for a base hit. So Giannis flares to right. He's 2 for 2, and the batter will be Bronson Arroyo. Okay, time for a trivia question. Everybody's talking about Matt Kemp. He leads the National League in home runs. Who are the only 3 Reds National League home run champ in the last 100 years? Only 3. Well, we'll give you the answer in a while. Arroyo coming up. Figure they're going to ask him to bunt. He has 3 sacrifices. Misses, and the count 0-1. For Dusty Baker, he's got a birthday coming up. On Wednesday, Dusty will be 62. A rage from Riverside. 0-1 to Arroyo, trying to advance Giannis. Uribe in on the grass. Loney ready to push off at first. Arroyo shown bunt again, and fouled it back, and the count 0-2. So Arroyo trying to help his own cause. He'll check again with Mark Berry, third base coach. Mark Berry, by the way, is a local boy. He grew up in Oxnard. No balls and 2 strikes. He's going to show bunt, try it again, and got it down, but Kuroda's going to go to second for 1, but that's all. Good, hard, legitimate slide by Paul Giannis. So 1 away, and the batter will be Drew Stubbs.
Center fielder number 6, Drew Stubbs.
Drew Stubbs has grounded to short and struck out. 0 for 2. We showed you him standing out there in center field. That's a problem with being the outfielder. You have too much time on your hands. You stand out there thinking about, I just struck out 90 times. I struck out 165. And they have to get over that and get over it right away. Oh, and 1. When Stubb was in high school in Atlanta, that is, remember, Atlanta, Texas, he was the quarterback. He was a member of 2 state champion relay teams, and he also played basketball as well as baseball. And as we mentioned earlier, he graduated. He was the salutatorian of his class. He was something. And he's a first-round pick. 6'4", 200 pounds, 26. They're going to check, no swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. At the University of Texas, Drew majored in liberal arts. However, maybe thinking too much. He's been picked off 3 times already this year. 1 and 1. One and 2. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run 5 hits for the Reds. Watching to see that Stubbs is down right to the knob on the bat, or has he moved it up just a little bit? Tell you why in a minute. 1-2. Well, down he goes. When he was at Dayton, and Dayton's hitters were so inconsistent making contact, the Dayton manager ordered every player to choke up on the bat. And as soon as Stubbs choked up, he suddenly hit 366. He feels that choking up gives him more control, but it hadn't paid off here. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And the batter now, Brandon Phillips. We're going to see somebody who's big and strong and powerful who chokes up. He'll be here in a couple of days. Hunter Pence of the Houston Astros, remember? Whoa, he was going for the downs. 0-1 the count. Phillips has 5 home runs, 36, and he let it out. 0-1 to Brandon. 5 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Of course, when he swings, a lot of things happen. He was a member of the 30-30 club. That's off the plate, 1-1. In 2007, he had 30 home runs, 94 runs batted in, and 32 stolen bases. Not very many second basemen have done that. The only other one, Alfonso Soriano, who's done that 3 times. The other Reds, Eric Davis and Barry Larkin. Quick throw, not in time. So Bronson Arroyo almost nailed by Diana Navarro. Remember, we told you the Reds are #1 in the highest number of runners being picked off. 2-1 to count, and for Dusty Baker, still working on the toothpick. He never could get rid of that bad habit. Check swing. Actually, the ball hit the bat. He wasn't swinging, and that'll be that. So Hiroki gives up a base hit and nothing else, and at the end of 4½, Dodgers 2, Reds 1. Two to 1, bottom of the 5th inning. Tony Gwynn, then Hiroki Kuroda, and then D. Gordon. Bronson Arroyo. has certainly been pretty consistent. If you look at his career, he has won 55 games at home and 54 games on the road. He's 1-3 here at Dodger Stadium, however. And the big thing for Arroyo, a pain in the neck for him, he's given up 16 home runs. But now Gwynn was robbed of a hit. It would have been a double at least. A diving stop by Joey Votto, who was able to feed Arroyo coming over. Strike, 0-1. Ground ball to third. Miguel Cairo, just like that. One pitch, one away. Say, don't forget, tomorrow is Hung Chi Kuo bobblehead night. Compliments of Taiwan Tourism Bureau. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. Hung Chi Kuo, we wish him well and hope he'll be back here soon. And here's Kuroda. Bronson Arroyo, as he works on Kuroda, we mentioned earlier, he is a very good guitar player. 1-0 pitch. And a fly ball to center. Stubbs is there. 2 down. In fact, those who spend time with Bronson say that he has about 150 songs in his head. And you start suggesting, and he can do it. And he can play almost any kind, because he really started studying Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots. And he can do it. In fact, a couple of years ago, he recorded his first CD. And that's a strike. 0-1 to D. Gordon. Tried to bunt his way aboard in the first inning and was thrown out, and fly to center in the third. One and one. Check swing. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 out, 5th inning. Dodgers 2, Reds 1. 4th meeting of the year between the two teams. Dodgers managed to win 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. Two and two. Swinging from the heels, you wouldn't think that's part of his game. You would expect that as Gordon matures, more and more he'll try to beat down on the ball because he runs like the wind. 2 and 2. For him to the fly ball here is not what he wants to do. He cracked his bat on that. That looked like a cricket. Oh yeah, did he ever crack it? So 2 and 2 the count to D. Gordon. One other thing about Bronson Arroyo, as much as he likes to play the guitar, he will not play on the day that he pitches. He feels it takes too much out of his hands and arm. 2 and 2. Fastball, little pop fly, and it'll be Giannis. So down go the Dodgers, 1, 2, 3, and at the end of 5, Dodgers 2, Reds 1. 1973, 4 young players put on the Dodger uniform for the first time together. They were Garvey, Russell, Lopes, and Say. 10 days later, June the 13th, in 1973, Walter Alston put all 4 in the second game of a doubleheader. And for 8.5 years, they played together. I don't think we'll ever. And with that, let's go back to this one. Sixth inning, 2-1 Dodgers. Joey Votto, Jay Bruce, Chris Heisey. By the way, the quartet, Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say, that was broken up after 8.5 years when Davy Lopes went off to Oakland. Joey is struck out, robbed of a hit by D. Gordon. 2-0 the count. Interesting thing about Joey Votto, you know, last year he did not hit an infield pop fly all year. And if he does hit it in the air, it usually goes out. He has 98 home runs in his career, 8 this year. Kuroda, by the way, has allowed 10 home runs. 2-1. Ball 3. Votto 4 for 10 with a home run against Kuroda this year. And a line drive, a diving catch by D. Gordon. So Votto has lost 2 hits tonight. One, the shot off the body of Kuroda, and a great play by Gordon. And now Gordon takes the line drive for the out. So 1 away. And the batter now, Jay Bruce. And for Joey Votto, it's one of those, who is that guy? Ball 1. Bruce 17 home runs. But again, his last home run was the 1st of June. He's not been a big RBI man in the sense he gets one maybe up 5-6 at bats. Gordon is on that. 2 out.
For the Reds, left fielder number 28, Chris Heisey.
So Chris Heisey, single to left, scored the run, flied to left. Chris 1 for 2. Heisey has been very strong coming off the bench. He has 8 pinch hits. He has a half a dozen RBIs as a pinch hitter. And he hits a high fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Gwynn. It is gone, and we have a tied up game. So Chris Heisey, who had 4 home runs last year, hit 8. He hits one tonight to tie it up. And for Hiroki Kuroda, that would be the 11th home run that he has allowed this year. Fastball it was, out over the plate at 93, and Kuroda wanted to pull his hat down over his eyes. So Heisey has scored both runs for the Reds, and we have a 2-2 tie. And the batter will be Miguel Cairo. Ball 1. A nice bit of hitting for Chris Heisey, 5th home run of the year. That's in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. The veteran Miguel Cairo. Hard foul out of third down the line. With that home run by Chris Heise, another $15,000 raised to support prostate cancer research. Don't forget, you can make a donation. Call 800-798-CURE or go online www.pcf.org. 1-2 to Miguel Cairo. Joe Torre tells a story. First time he ever heard of Miguel was back in 2004. Joe was then the Yankee manager. He was driving to the ballpark in the spring and he got a phone call from Cardinals executive Red Schoendienst. And Schoendienst said to Torre, "I'm not sure if he's a regular player, but this son of a gun knows how to play and he can hit." Well, Torre said Schoendienst is kind of a guy who doesn't offer many opinions. And that was the first contact I ever had about a man named Cairo. And he's had a marvelous career. The linkage 2003, Cairo played for the Cardinals. And then 2004, he was with Joe and the Yankees. Ground foul. For Cairo, growing up in Venezuela, his fantasy was someday to play with Ozzie Guillen and Omar Vizquel. And darned if it didn't happen. Strike three, and down goes Miguel. However, one run, one hit, a home run by Chris Heise, the end of 5.5, a 2-2 tie. Stands for defense. A carom shot off the body of Caroca, a barehand pickup, and a throw to first. Brilliant. D. Gordon, who has come up with a few highlight plays at shortstop tonight. It's a 2-2 tie, and in the bottom of the sixth inning, the Dodgers will have Aaron Miles, Andre Ethier, and then Matt Kemp. So Arroyo has a lot of work to do here. The Reds 2 runs and 6 hits. And the Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits. So Chris Heise hitting that home run in the 6th inning to get things even. And now ready to take a look at Aaron Miles at the plate. Miles hitting .297, fly to center, grounded to third, 0 for 2. Off speed for a strike. The middle of the Dodger order has given Bronson a hard time throughout his career. Of course, the middle of the Dodger order or the middle of any big league order figures to give a pitcher a bad time. Little ground ball to Votto. Joey will feed Arroyo. And just like that, one away. Remember the trivia question we had, rather appropriately,
Right fielder,
now
number
wants to
16,
develop, about home runs. Who are the only 3 Reds National League home run champions in the last 100 years? And they are Big Ted Kluszewski, then Johnny Bench, and George Foster. They were all different. Kluszewski was massive. His arms were so big, they actually cut the sleeves out of the shirt so the arms could be free. Bench, of course, perhaps the greatest catcher who ever lived. And George Foster, a power hitter who hit over 50 one year. Ethia, meanwhile, a fly ball, 2 down, and the batter will be Matt Kemp.
Center fielder, number 27, Matt Kemp.
With the Ethier, Kemp, and Loney in this inning, Ethier, for instance, was hitting .310 with a home run against Arroyo. Kemp hitting .429 with 2 home runs against Arroyo. And Loney hitting .385 with a home run against Arroyo. Well, he's gotten Ethier. Now he's got 2 more mountains to climb, Kemp and Loney. Right. Hiroki Kuroda in his career has done very well against the Central Division. He is 14-5 against the Central Division. A mile-high pop fly on a slider, and it's Brandon Phillips, and that'll be that. So Arroyo negotiated the top 3 against him in the 6th inning, 1-2-3, and we're locked in at 2. Two-two tie. Ryan Hannigan, Paul Janisch, and then Bronson Arroyo against Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda backed up by Matt Guerrier in the bullpen now. Next pitch will be number 100. In looking at Kuroda's last couple of games, when he lost in Philadelphia, allowing just 1 run, he made 93 pitches. When he lost to Cincinnati, allowing all of 2 runs, he made 114 pitches. And you have to go all the way back to his second start in April when he made 117. That's just right. Kuroda is 6'1", about 190 pounds. He's also 36. 1-1 to Ryan Hannigan. Ground ball wide. Gordon in a hurry and drops it. So Hannigan will safely aboard on the error.
Shortstop number 7, Paul Janisch.
You wonder on that slow hit ball whether Uribe could have gotten it. But after a while, I'm sure if you're playing third base, you start to figure, well, this kid will get them all anyway. So the error. The batter now will be Janisch, who is 2 for 2. For Gordon, by the way, everything he does is a first in his major league career. So that's his first big league error. Ground ball slowly to Uribe, down to second, one, back to first, wide throw. So a force play, but then the throwing error. And instead of hitting into the double play, the Reds wind up with a runner at second and 1 out. Miles on the bag, tries to sidearm it around the sliding Hannigan and threw it away.
Drew Stubbs.
So 2 Dodger errors in the inning. Now Arroyo up there with 1 out. He single a left, hit into a force play. We've had errors now by D. Gordon and Aaron Miles. And that's going to be hit over the head of Loney, and a fair ball. And they're going to run him. And the throw by Ethier is offline. So Paul Janisch brings in the run, and Bronson Arroyo with a single to right field. For Arroyo, his second run batted in of the year. Sails right over Loney's head inside the line. Ethier has a half a dozen assists, but not this time. So the 2 errors, Flair single to right. 3-2 in favor of Cincinnati. And now let's see what'll happen with Kuroda. Don Mattingly slowly walking out there. And Hiroki knows, and he's gone. So 2 errors upset his apple cart for sure, and we'll be back. You can see 6 1/3 for Hiroki. 4 hits allowed by Arroyo. 2 runs allowed for Bronson. 3 to Kuroda. But of course, the errors here in the 7th inning. There should be 2 out and a runner at first. No walks for either pitcher. And of course, for Kuroda, he has just been absolutely magnificent as far as giving up any walks. So now, Matt Guerrier is trying to go up against the top of the order. That means Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto. Stubbs has struck out twice tonight. He's 0 for 3. And he pops the first pitch up. Aaron Miles. Well, we mentioned at the very start of the game that the Reds are first in the highest rate of infield pop flies.
Second baseman, Brandon
And
Phillips.
now you have a very frustrated center fielder, not to mention a frustrated manager. One away. Here's Brandon Phillips. Single to center, got as far as second on a wild pitch. Robbed of a hit. Nice play by D. Gordon to get him in the third. Grounded out in the fifth. So he's 1 for 3. 3-2 Cincinnati here in the seventh. And a pop foul coming over as Loney. He will not have a play. Kangaroo bounce back into the stands. Beautiful evening in the ballpark. Game 1 of a good homestand. Tomorrow night with the Reds. That'll be Johnny Cueto and Clayton Kershaw. Wednesday afternoon, Wood and Billingsley. Tomorrow night, Cueto is 3-2, Kershaw 6-3. 0-1 to Brandon. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Matt Guerrier, in his 33rd game, a record of 2-3. One ball, 1 strike. And on the inside corner for a strike. 1-2 to Brandon Phillips. Two and two. Phillips with 73 hits as a middle infielder. That ties him with Jamie Carroll. Brandon, his older brother, played in the Rangers system, and his sister, a nationally ranked sprinter. That's going to be on the chalk, and it is foul. The only thing they can do is let the ball decide the issue. Of course, for Brandon, he's got great genes. His father was a wide receiver in college. His mom was a power forward on the school's basketball team. His older brother played in the Rangers system. His sister is not only a sprinter, but a top-ranked basketball player. And all older brothers do this. He says his little brother, PJ, who is in the Angel organization, will be a better baseball player than himself. I doubt it. 2-2. He holds up, no swing. 3-2 the count. Phillips has a pretty good sense of humor. He said when he was a little kid, he was about 4 years old, and he got a wiffle ball and a bat from his dad. And being 4, he promptly threw the ball at his father and threw the bat at his mom. And then he started to run. 3-2. There goes the runner on ball 4. So with 2 out, the base hit drove in the run. And now one of the top hitters in the lineup coming up, and that's Joey Votto. Votto is 0 for 3, could easily be 2 for 3, except for D. Gordon, who twice has taken base hits away from him. Votto hitting .331. Looks that right into the catcher's mid. 0-1. Votto, back in 2009, he finished second to Cubs catcher Giovanni Soto in the Rookie of the Year award, but he became the MVP winner, and in a landslide last year. He got 31 of the 32 first place votes. And you say, well, who could have possibly gotten the other vote? Well, it was Albert Pujols. Joey, with runners in scoring position, is hitting .421. The Guerrier has a lot to think about. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. And looking at the past, this would be the first time Votto has ever faced Guerrier. And he has Arroyo at second and Phillips at first, a run in, and the Reds lead 3-2. Ball 3. Well, on deck, you have the left-hand hitter, Jay Bruce. Three and 1 the count to Joey Votto. And if he likes the location, you know Dusty has green lighted him. He's the big man. 39 runs batted in. Didn't like the location. 3 and 2. Now with 2 down, the runners will be going. Votto has struck out 50 times. Big pitch. Runners ready, runners go, and there's a drive into right center field. He did it. Joey Votto whacks it into the pavilion. 3-run score, and the Reds lead 6-2. And for hard luck Hiroki Kuroda, he's punished again. So Joey Votto hit one where D. Gordon couldn't catch it.
Right fielder, number 42.
Votto, who is a marvelous player, drives it out. Last year he had 37 home runs and 113 runs batted in. So now add 1 more home run and 3 more runs batted in. 6-2 in favor of the Reds. And by the way, with that home run hit, another $15,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online www.pcf.org. Bruce going after a bad ball and late as well. So Joey Votto, the boy out of Toronto and Ontario, Canada, hits another one. That means he has 99 home runs in his career. Ball 1. So Arroyo is charged to Kuroda. Phillips and Votto charged to Guerrier. 6-2 in favor of the Reds. Kuroda charged with 4 runs all told. Fastball away. 3-2. Remember what the Dodger bullpen has been through. Remember the 4 games? Thoroughly forgettable, even though they won 2 of the 4. The scores were 9-7, 6-5, 11-7, and 10-8. Curveball missed, so the bullpen has to be beaten out. So is the Colorado bullpen, for that matter. And now Chris Heisey is coming up, and back in the 6th inning, Heisey, who was 1 for 2 against Kuroda, he got a fastball out over the plate, and he hit it into the left field pavilion. So 2 home runs tonight, and the Reds lead 6-2. The Reds, when they're playing at Great American Ballpark, they're going to hit a lot of home runs. They've hit 42 at home. Counting tonight, they've hit 27 on the road. So Joey Votto, as he did all last year when he was the MVP, continues to do it for the Reds. Joey Votto, by the way, is 27. He He'll be 28 in September. So he figures to have a great career. And he's big enough to play a long time. 6'3", 220. So here's Heisey, single, fly to left, and homer. Jay Bruce over at first base has stolen 5 out of 8. And that's whacked to center, but Kemp is there to flag it, and that's the out. But not before the damage has been done. It's a 4-run inning for the Reds. Thanks to Joey Votto, they lead 6-2. Cincinnati explodes for 4, and we go to the bottom of the 7th with the Reds leading 6-2. Guerrier, while he was in there, made 21 pitches. One of the 21 to Joey Votto. Promptly hit the big home run, a 3-run job. And the Reds now 6 runs and 8 hits. The Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. Dodgers will have Loney, Uribe, and Navarro. Down in the bullpen, Josh Lindblom begins to warm up for the Dodgers. Guerrier made 21 pitches. Anytime the Dodgers have to go into the bullpen for the next day or so, it'll be a tough call because of that rough 4-game series in Colorado. Loney single to center to drive in a run and single to right. Ball 1. Loney swinging the bat very well after struggling for almost a month. 1 ball and no strikes. Breaking ball in there. Loney 2 for 2 tonight, though against Arroyo he's 10 for 26. And a high fly ball to shallow left. Coming up, and there now is Heisey. One away.
Third baseman, number 5.
So the batter will be Uribe, who fouled out and hit into a double play. When he fouled out in the first inning, it was an 8-pitch at bat. Bronson Arroyo, in 13 previous starts, did not average quite 6 innings. Boy, was Uribe way out in front of that. 0-1. So here's Bronson now into the 7th. He has not had to work hard so far. Fastball missed. Made 70 pitches in the first 6 innings. That's great. A little less than 12 an inning. Foul back. Arroyo has changed, and just as well. One time he had a rep, not a headhunter, but of hitting people. He hit 20 batters when he was with the Red Sox, but that was about 7 years ago. That same season with the Red Sox, remember they were world champs, 2004. He had a stretch of 11 consecutive outs by strikeout. Fastball popped in the air. A trio of Reds. It will be whom? It will be the right fielder, Jay Bruce. So 2 out on fly balls, and the batter will be Deonna Navarro. You know, voting is underway for the 2011 All-Star Game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite Dodger to this year's All-Star Game. You can vote up to 25 times at Dodgers.com. Visit Dodgers.com/vote. Cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote today at Dodgers.com/vote. Navarro has hit the ball hard, but he's 0 for 2. That's a strike. Lined out, diving catch by Paul Janisch in the 2nd inning, and grounded hard to Brandon Phillips. 0-1. Fastball away. 1-1 the count. Bronson Arroyo, a workhorse. All that weightlifting starting when he's 5 years old has certainly paid off. 2-1 the count. A couple of years ago, he pitched 240 2/3 innings and became the first Cincinnati pitcher to lead the league in inning pitch outright since Bucky Walters, going all the way back in 1941. 2-1. Bucky Walters was a third baseman who had a great arm, but again didn't hit very much, so they made him a pitcher, and he was special. Arroyo has been with the Reds since '06. After spending 3 years with the Red Sox. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul ball. Remember, the Red Sox had a very colorful outfielder named Kevin Millar. And Kevin always said that Arroyo was the greatest guitar player at a barbecue, because it seems like you could ask him to play anything, and they used to call him the jukebox, because no matter what you suggested, Bronson could play it. 2-2. Four pitches now made for him. He has 2 outs, 7th inning. The last Dodger hit was a single by Loney in the 4th inning. Then came the double play, so he retired 10 in a row. no walks. Only one walk in the game. That was the walk to Jay Bruce, given up by Guerrier. Ball 3. On deck, Tony Gwynn. So this is as close as Arroyo has gotten to walking a hitter. And a fly ball into left center. Stubbs is there. That'll do that. So the outs continue, and we're heading for the 8th inning for the Reds 6. And Reds lead the Dodgers 6-2, and the Dodgers dipping into the bullpen again, but trying to get the most out of a poor situation. They make a double switch. So they take out Juan Uribe. Aaron Miles moves from second base to third. Jamie Carroll takes over at second base and will bat ninth. And then the pitcher, Josh Lindblom, will go into Uribe's spot. Arroyo breezing along. Made only 16 pitches, so Bronson has made 86 pitches in 7 innings. For the Dodgers, 3 of the 5 Dodgers starters, that would be Ted Lilly, John Garland, and Clayton Kershaw, have not allowed an unearned run this season. Billingsley has allowed only 2 unearned. But the unlucky man, Kuroda, has been hit for 6 unearned runs. 1 ball and no strikes to Miguel Cairo. Grounded out, struck out twice, but the ground ball was more than just a ground ball. That's foul. Back in the second inning, Heisey had singled. Hit and run play. Heisey took off. Cairo hit a ball to the left, the gloved side of Aaron Miles. He went back and got it over to D. Gordon, but Gordon, flying across the bag, never touched it. So they did get Cairo, but not Heisey. Ground foul. And that gave Giannis a chance with 2 out, and Paul singled in the run. Since then, Gordon has flashed with a couple of fine plays, but he also committed an error on Ryan Hannigan's ground ball in the 7th, and that began a 4-run inning. No one likes to get beaten, and no one especially likes to get beaten when the bottom three of the lineup set it all up for you, and that's what happened in the top of the 7th inning. The error by Gordon. Giannis hit into a fours play, but Miles threw the ball away, and Arroyo singled in a run, and then later on Joey Votto hit the big home run. Cairo with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Reds have also scored 5 of their 6 runs with 2 outs. Little ground ball to Loney, the feed, and we have 1 away. You know, a reminder, the Dodgers Summer Bobble Slam is the perfect tick plan for you. Sure, you'll get the 4 games that include all of this year's remaining bobbleheads. That means Quo, Ethier, Fernando, and Duke Snider, all starting at $15 a seat. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans or give us a call, 323-224-1365. One away here in the 8th inning. Ryan Hannigan fouled out, struck out, reached on the error, and ball 1. Dodgers with Kuroda, Guerrier, and Lindblom. The paid attendance tonight, lovely evening, 31,372. 31,372. Tomorrow night, remember, Clayton Kershaw going up against Johnny Cueto. Kershaw 6-3. Cueto is 3-2. For Clayton, touched up and roughed up in Colorado. High fly ball, but it's room service. It's coming to Ethier. And we have 2 down in the 8th inning. The batter will be Paul Yanis.
Number 7, Paul Yanis.
Yanis is a shortstop and a good one. He's also 2 for 3 and scored a run tonight. He also knocked in a run. And he does something else besides catch. He hits a fly ball to Ethier. The one thing he does besides catch, he apparently, from what we hear, he's a very good juggler. So down go the Reds, juggler or no, but they have the Dodgers by the juggler, leading 6-2. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's always good to look at the career of a pitcher who's been around and look at it month by month. Remember, we were looking at Jason Hamill And he struggled in a lot of months, but in his career, Hamill in the month of June was 9-1. He had to come out with a bad back when we were in Colorado. So we look at Bronson Arroyo, and June would be his worst month in his career. Coming into this game, 10-25 in the month of June. That's ball one. He certainly picks it up in September, however. He's 24-11 in the month of September. Gwynn hitting .221. And a high chopper. Brandon Phillips backhands, can't get the throw off. So Phillips unable to make the play. That'll go as a base hit. And the batter will be Jamie Carroll.
Second baseman, number 14, Jamie Carroll.
Jamie hitting .320. Just got into the ball game, and now he comes up with a runner at first. Nobody out. Carroll followed by Gordon. That is hit number 5 for the Dodgers against Bronson Arroyo. And they're going to move around in the Cincinnati bullpen now for sure. Jamie Carroll as a middle infielder right there with Brandon Phillips. They each have 73 hits. And a strike. 0-1. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Reds, including a home run by Heisey and the big home run by Joey Votto. Dodgers 2 runs, 5 hits. Off the plate, 1-1. Now Arroyo has not had to work hard. Made 86 pitches in 7 innings. He's now made exactly 90 pitches. Gwynn at first, nobody out. Quick breaking ball, 1-2. Bronson Arroyo at 6'5", about 190, 34 years old, been a big leaguer for 11 years, almost 12. 1-2. A little slider right off the end of the bat. Still 1-2. Gwynn held on by Votto. And they'll keep an eye on Tony. Arroyo fastball, kind of a side-on curveball almost. Slider, the cutter for left-handers, and a straight change to left-handers. And he has one on deck, D. Gordon. Fastball. Sinking line drive caught in the air. I think Brandon was trying to trap it, but he caught it in the air. So 1 away, and Gwynn holding at first. Brandon is talking to himself, I'm sure, thinking, first of all, I really felt I made the play on Gwynn. Now I'm thinking, I caught it, but now maybe I should have trapped it. But you only get one quick chance. So 1 away, Gwynn at first, and D. Gordon coming up. Red 6, Dodgers 2. Line drive down the right field line, and the Rabbits are loose. Gwynn will score, and D. Gordon is on his way to third easily. And it's 6-3 Reds with 1 out. And now Brandon Phillips is really talking to himself. So Gordon triples into the right field corner. And for young Gordon picking it all up, he's already had his major league hit. He's had 8 of those. He has just picked up his first run batted in the big leagues while hitting his first triple. And earlier tonight he also committed his first error. So the triple by Gordon, who had been 0 for 3. Still 1 out, so Miles trying to pick him up. Reds 6, Dodgers 3. And ball 1. Pitch count now. Arroyo's gone up to 95. Want to know the count. Aaron Miles fly to center, grounded to third, grounded to Votto. 0 for 3, hitting .296. Infield back with 1 out. He'll give up a run to get an out. Arroyo, by the way, is trying to do it the hard way. He is really pitching to contact. 1 and 2. Because in looking back through the books, you find out he has 1 strikeout, and that was Hiroki Kuroda. Gordon, in his last 2 minor league seasons, had a total of 22 triples. And that's going to be hit to left. Coming up for it, grabbing it is Heisey. Here comes Gordon, and he will score. So Miles, a fly ball to left, sacrifice fly. Gordon, the way he runs, not much of a chance to get him. So the Dodgers have scored twice. Reds lead 6-4. And we'll see what Dusty Baker has in mind now as Andre Ethier is coming up. Ethier is 1 for 3. Not close. It was a good throw by Heisey, but Gordon just runs so well. Bronson Arroyo talking to Dusty and to his catcher, but they're going to the pen. They'll bring in the left-hander Bill Bray, and we'll be back. He walked 1, His walk was to Matt Kemp in the first inning, and he struck out one, and that was Hiroki Kuroda. He pitched to contact, only finally to contact by Gordon, a triple for one, and then D runs in on the fly ball. So Bill Bray out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, now lives in Grapevine, Texas. He went to William and Mary, working on Ethier, almost hit him, ball one. Bray, 6'3", 220. Picked up a letter in track and field while being a pitcher. Fastball on the hands, 1-1. Andre hitting .321. 1 for 5 against Bray. He's 1 for 3 tonight. But you figure late in this kind of a game, they would bring in the left-hander against Ethier. Andre certainly has had his troubles against left-handers. He's hitting .357 against right, .232 against left. And down he goes. So Ethier strikes out. That puts the lid on the 8th, but the Dodgers do get 2. Reds lead. Of an electrifying night for D. Gordon, making his debut at Dodger Stadium. Several dazzling defensive plays, one error, one where he missed second base trying to hurry up a double play, and then a key triple that drove in one and set up another to get the Dodgers back in the game. So in the 9th inning for the Reds, leading, and Bill Bray will give way to a pinch hitter, Fred Lewis. You may remember the name Fred Lewis. He was with the Giants for a while. So Fred will be coming up. He's out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Went to Southern University.
Hitting off the 9th inning for the Reds. Pinch hitting, number 15.
He played 1 year at Southern with a teammate, Milwaukee Brewers, Ricky Weeks. So here's Fred. 1 home run, 6 RBIs. Big curveball in for a strike, 0-1. Lindblom made only 10 pitches in the 8th inning. 0-1. 1-1. Fred Lewis has a home run, 6 RBIs. Fastball, 1-2. Lewis, as a pinch hitter, has been very effective. Remember, we told you that Cincinnati's bench has been the best in the league. He's 4 for 9 with a home run coming off the bench. Slow and off the plate. And did it hit him? He did. Fred's walking away, and he's been informed. So Fred Lewis comes off the bench, gets hit by the pitch, and in a moment Drew Stubbs coming up.
Drew Stubbs.
I think it just hit his shirt more than anything else. So Lewis standing at first, and the batter Drew Stubbs. Stubbs grounded to short, struck out twice, popped up 0 for 4. And ball 1. Pretty tough for the Reds to have a leadoff man who has struck out 91 times. Lewis over there at first base is 0 for 2 in stolen bases. 1-1 to count. Stubbs out of Atlanta, Texas. Remember we told you about when he was in school and then went on to being a professional, and when he got to Dayton, the manager had everybody on the team choke up. Let's see where he is on the knob. Maybe a little bit. Certainly not severe. 2-1. Six runs, 8 hits for the Reds, 4 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. We're in the 9th. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, Matt Kemp, James Loney, and the pitcher spot. Josh Lindblom. Dodgers scored in the first inning. Reds tied it in the second. Dodgers took a lead with a run in the fourth. Reds tied it in the sixth. And then the Reds scored 4 in the seventh. And the Dodgers came back with 2 in the eighth. Breaking ball missed, ball 3. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Javi Guerra warming up. And in the Cincinnati bullpen, their veteran closer, Francisco Cordero, who has 302 saves. 3-1. Lewis at first, going. Missed at the plate, throw down, and the tag. I tell you, that's got to really be rough to have a leadoff man who can't make contact. And Lewis thrown down, and for Dusty, has to be a very, very tough moment. So they put the play on, and Stubbs just hacks away and misses. So the count on Stubbs now 3-2. And he's called out on strikes, and he's out for the 3rd time tonight. So he's really going through the tortures. And with 2 out, the batter will be Brandon Phillips.
Second baseman number 4, Brandon Phillips.
Good pitch. So for young Drew Stubbs, another learning process. He came up briefly 2 years ago, then stayed with the Reds all last year. It can be a tough way to make a living. The old story, it's tough to get here. It's even tougher to stay here. 1 ball and no strikes to Brandon Phillips. Phillips annoyed with himself, just watching his body language, reading his lips. On the ball that he caught behind second base, hit by Tony Gwynn, he couldn't make a throw, and he was furious at himself. Then remember, Carroll hit that sinking line drive, and he caught it before it hit the ground, and he acted like he was second guessing himself. If I had short hopped it, I get the double play. If he had, then the triple by Gordon, the Miles fly ball would have been the 3rd out, period. Crack back, ground ball to third. Miles, a long throw, gets him. So the key to the inning, to hit batter, but then Stubbs striking out. Phillips grounding out. Here comes Matt Kemp, but he can't hit a 2-run home run with the bases empty. 6-4 Reds. Of the 9th inning, Matt Kemp, James Loney, and then a hitter for Josh Lindblom against Francisco Cordero. Francisco Cordero, 33 years old. He'll be 34 in August. He has 302 career saves, and he's had as many as 49 saves in 1 year for Texas, and then he's had 44 for the Brewers. And last year he had 40 for the Reds. So 302. And the big boy, basically a good sinking fastball. He also has a slider and a changeup. Cordero has been at it a long time. Originally signed by the Tigers in 1994. Matt Kemp has walked, singled, scored a run, and popped up. Fastball for a strike. For Cordero, he's 3-1. Great ERA, a little less than 1.5. He has given up 3 home runs in 30 innings. 0-1. Fastball missing, 1-1. Cordero and the Reds back in November of 2007. He signed a 4-year deal. They have an option for the 5th year. Kemp laid on a fastball at 94, and the count 1-2. One and two. Two and two. Last year, left-handers were successful enough. They hit 274 against him with just 1 home run. Right-handers hit .226 with 4 home runs. Two and two to Matt Kemp. And ball 3. Cordero with Loney on deck. And then we'll see about a hitter for Josh Lindblom. Three and two. And he overthrows. Ball 4. Well, maybe Dusty would rather have him walk Kemp than give him something to hit, but it now makes Loney a potential tying run at the plate. Remember, too, this year, Cincinnati's bullpen has been ineffective. They've had 13 losses, which is not exactly how you would spell relief. Trent Olson, left-hand batter, comes out on deck. He would bat for Lindblom. Loney 2 for 3. And a strike. In looking at Francisco Cordero, Loney 1 for 5 in the past. Kemp 1 for 6. Oh and 1. Nobody out. There goes the runner, Kemp. The throw down. He is in there. So Matt Kemp steals second. And for Kemp, he is now 15 out of 18. It takes the force play or even the double play away from the Reds. A calculated gamble. And Matt picks up number 15. So 1-1 the count to James Loney. Loney, who's been hitting very, very well of late. That's a strike. 1-2 to count. Cordero throws hard, yes. How hard does he throw? Well, coming in, 22 strikeouts in 31 innings and 9 walks. 1-2 to Loney. Cordero throwing hard. That was up there around 96. And Loney really hangs right over the plate. Interesting, the improvement of Matt Kemp. And no doubt Davey Lopes over at first base has had a lot to do with it. Last year, Kemp's percentage of successful steals only 56%. This year, 83. Last year, Matt Kemp stole 19 bases, but he was caught 15 times. This year, he's stolen 15 and been caught 3. And there certainly is one of the reasons. Davey stole something like 418 stolen bases with the Dodgers, 557 in his career. And Loney's up there hacking. 1-2. 6-4 in favor of the Reds. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Kemp at second base. And nobody out. Fast one in the dirt. But he took a little off that. That was 88. Trent Olson, the boy from Australia, waiting on deck. So Loney comes up empty, 1 away. Now let's see, Olchin has been called back. And we'll see Rod Barajas moving around, and it's going to be Barajas and not Olchin. Rod Barajas comes up with 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in. He is 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter.
Rod Barajas.
Barajas, very much of a fly ball hitter. He has 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Diana Navarro is on deck. Final score after a rain delay in Denver. The Padres beat the Rockies 3-1. They had thunderstorms that delayed the start of that game 83 minutes. 1 out, 9th inning. 0-1. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Reds. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors for the Dodgers. Oh and 1. Another fastball at the knees. He hits 91 on that pitch, and the count 0-2. Barajas had a very successful road trip. He had 478. Gets away, but Kemp holds on. No gambling here in the 9th. Dodgers hit a dry spot against Arroyo after a single by Loney in the 4th inning. They did not have a hit through the 7th. Then they had the infield single and the triple and the fly ball to get back into it. And now a leadoff walk to Kemp, and we have 1 out. 1-2 to Barajas. 2-2. And again, Cordero hitting 91 on the gun. Well, that was really shocking yesterday to see Javi Ruby De La Rosa hit 100 on the speed gun. Haven't seen that since Broxton salad days. 2-2 to Barajas. Got him. So Loney and Barajas go down swinging, and we have 2 out in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Diana Navarro.
The Dodgers catcher, Diana Navarro.
Navarro lined out to short. Great diving catch by Paul Yanis. Grounded hard to the right side. And last time up, flied to center. When Navarro flied out in the 7th inning, he was the 11th consecutive out chalked up by Bronson Arroyo. So Diana hitting 169. He has a home run, 4 runs batted in. So Cordero from the Dominican, Navarro from Venezuela, with 2 out, 9th inning, and Matt Kemp at second base. Ball 1. On deck, Tony Gwynn. One ball and no strikes. Fouled away, 1-1. Arroyo struck out 1 in 7 2/3. Bill Bray came in to strike out Epier. So 2 Dodgers had struck out, and now Cordero comes in the 9th inning, and he's nailed 2. 1-1 to Diana Navarro. Tony Gwynn on deck. Matt Kemp at second. Time. 31,372 out here tonight. Hope you make your plans tomorrow night. Clayton Kershaw, Johnny Cueto. Wednesday afternoon, Chad Billingsley, Travis Wood. Fastball, 1-2. So for Don Mattingly, dying a little bit in the dugout, I'm sure. You know, most of Cordero's pitches have been around 91. One pitch, 96. And in talking about him, the scouts say he's far more effective when he's throwing 90 and 91. 2-2. Now that pitch on the gun was 97. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Reds lead by 2, and the Dodgers have a runner at second. Fastball, and he just threw it by him, and that was another 97. So all Cordero did was come in and strike out the side after walking Matt Kemp. And all Joey Votto did was hit a big home run in the 7th inning with 2 men aboard. A reminder, with 2 home runs hit tonight, a total of $30,000 has been raised in our game for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. The total, 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Reds. The Dodgers, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. They have now split the 4 games. Bronson Arroyo picked up the win. Hiroki Kuroda suffered the loss. Tomorrow night, it's Kershaw and Cueto. Stay tuned now for Dodgers Live coming up next.